Hey everybody! So today we're going to talk about career in the natal chart, seeing career, what kind of career somebody would be good at, or if you're looking at your own chart, what you might be good at doing, or what kind of career might fit. Obviously you would want to look at the midheaven for this. This is like the first place your eye would want to go, or one of the first places. It's not the only place though, and it is the one thing that I see get talked about the most, which as it should be. I mean, this is an important thing, don't get me wrong. You do want to look at notions of career and look at the midheaven. This does make sense. But you also want to look at where the planetary ruler of the midheaven falls in the chart by house and by sign, and then aspects made, obviously taking the whole thing into account, to help flesh out career even further, the notion of career. This is something that I don't see get talked about quite as much. And I think, I honestly don't see dispositors get talked about a whole lot in general at all. And I think that they are a very important part of chart weaving and chart reading. Extremely important. Extremely, extremely important. So I wanted to go over kind of how to do that, because this is a question that comes up a lot. I see this question come up a lot on Reddit. I've seen it come up on Facebook. I've seen it come up on other forums that I creep on, because we all know I creep. So it is, and it's an important question, right? Being able to know kind of what career might be good for you, or what you might be good at doing, right? These are important things to ask. So I get why it's asked a lot, but these are just some ideas on kind of how to look even deeper at that, right? Like, oh, and another thing, when looking at career, sometimes it's really easy to nail down a specific career for somebody. Sometimes it's really easy. And sometimes you will have an easier time mentioning themes or coming up with themes, which can then help you figure out what kind of career somebody would be good at. Like, let's say they've got themes of, I don't know, they might have themes where writing is a major theme for them. Writing seems to be a major career theme. That doesn't necessarily mean that their career is going to be being a writer, but it might need to incorporate writing in some way. So sometimes it is better. I find that sometimes it's better to look for, rather than trying to look for a specific career, it's better to look for themes. And after you've analyzed those themes, then come to a conclusion about what kind of career would be best, or what kind of work would be best if you wanted to look at this from like the 6th house, which is the work that you do. I would start with themes. And then once you have those themes down, then kind of make your assessment on what career would be best. That's how I would approach this. And that's how I do approach it. But anyway, okay, so I'll use my chart as an example, because I have the clearance to do so. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. Okay. So, okay. This is my chart. My midheaven is in Virgo at 28 degrees something Virgo. So, oh, and then my Mercury is in the 11th house in Scorpio. And Mercury is the planetary ruler of Virgo. Okay. So, we have Virgo on the cusp of the 10th house. If you're using whole signs, you'll just need to adjust how I'm doing this. But Virgo on the cusp of the 10th house, or the midheaven. When you see Virgo on the cusp of the 10th house or the midheaven, you might be looking at somebody who is wanting to, their career in some way needs to be analytical. It needs to be organized. It needs to deal in those realms. Probably something involving the mind. There could be a perfection complex, wanting to be perfect at what they do, or other people viewing them as if they're perfect at what they do. For me, the way that Virgo in the 10th house it plays out is the specialization. I've always wanted to specialize in something, or niche. I've never pronounced that right. Whatever. But that's where it played, like, whatever career that I have, or when I was younger, the things that I think about wanting to have done as a little girl, as the highest and most idealized version of myself, which is very midheaven as well. They were all specializations of some kind. They were all, they just were all very specialized. So I would say that's how it plays out for me. But somebody else with Virgo on the 10th house cusp, it might play out in some of the other ways that I mentioned. There could be a service aspect, wanting to serve in some way, wanting to be of service, wanting your career to be something that is of service. That's actually important to me too. But okay, so that's the midheaven, right? That's the midheaven. So those are kind of the themes that one is dealing with their career, with the way that they're seen in the public, with those kinds of notions. So then from there, you'd want to look at the planetary ruler of the midheaven. In this case, we're talking about Virgo. So the planetary ruler is Mercury, which falls in the 11th house. And it's in Scorpio. Now, I would take these one at a time. If you're not totally used to fusing or blending, I would start with the house, the planet in the house. So Mercury in the 11th house, obviously I'm going to want to use my mind or communicate within groups of people on the internet. That definitely fits for what I do. Because the 11th house can deal with the internet and things like that. Groups, I'm very active. I mean, not in real life. I could kind of give a fuck about groups in real life, but like online and stuff, I'm very active in groups online, so that does fit. That does fit specifically for career reasons. It does fit, and because I enjoy it. I enjoy it too. So that all fits. Scorpio on the cusp of, or actually Libra's on the cusp of the 11th house, but Mercury's in Scorpio. So I might do all of the above in a powerful way, in a magnetic way, in a intense way, in a deep way. Throw out any of those Scorpio keywords you want, you know. Yeah. So that's kind of what you'd want to do to look for another layer as to what kind of career might actually be good for somebody, so that you can help them utilize, you know, what's going for them in their natal chart and help them find something. And sometimes sometimes I mentioned the theme thing. Sometimes it really is best to come out with themes for people. Because keep in mind, there are so many fucking careers out there. Like, there are so many. And there's so many. I mean, like, that's what I'll say to people. Like, I don't know all of the careers in the world. If I'm looking at their chart and I'm like, I don't know exactly what career fits this. I know there's probably something out there that does, but I don't know all the jobs. I'll always mention themes. I may not always mention specific careers to people unless they're wanting an actual reading for career purposes. That's different. If they're coming to you specifically for career purposes, yes, you need to give them careers that would be good for them. But in regular natal chart readings, if an actual career doesn't pop out to me, something that I know off the top of my head, I will always mention the themes that stand out to me, because it could very well be that the career that they're already in, that they already have, fits these themes. You know, yeah. So let's play around with this just one more time. So, okay, let's pretend like, okay, we'll still use Virgo on the cusp of the 10th house, right? But let's say Mercury, oh shit, sorry, my cards are blind. Let's say Mercury was in the 5th house in Aries. So that would mean that like the career that the person has, like let's say the specialization, we'll go with that. The specialization, the Virgo specialization that they want to be known for or want to engage in or what have you, this will need to bend to the person's need to creatively express themselves in the 5th house. Their mind, creatively express their mind in an active way. We'll say active because we're dealing with Aries. You could pick any Arian keyword there that you wanted to fit or that did fit depending on the entire chart. But yeah, the person, the way they specialize in something in their career might need to bend to the way that they, you know, communicate and create, communicate and creatively express themselves in active ways, in independent ways. It will need to, the 10th house will need to bend to that. Or bestow its power to that, to the 5th house or what have you. However you want to put it. And oh, one more thing. If you have, say, let's say you've got the ruler of the, or let's say, not the ruler, sorry, Jesus. It's been a long fucking day. Okay. So let's say you had Scorpio on the cusp of the 10th house. Okay, in that case, it depends. I mean, it depends on if you're into just using traditional rulership, by all means, keep doing it. If you're into just using modern rulership, by all means, keep doing it. I am a huge proponent and fan of using both. I think there's nothing wrong with that. So if it were me, I would be looking at where both Mars and Pluto fall in the natal chart by sign and house, and then aspects made. But if you want to just go with Pluto for Scorpio, that's fine. See where it falls. To help flesh out the story further. If you know, want to use Mars, that's fine too. But I do think that it's kind of cool when you've got a sign, you know, that has traditional and modern rulership. I think it's kind of cool to utilize that because it'll help give you an even more of an idea of what's going on. And you don't get that with every sign. So I think it's kind of cool when you I feel like why waste that? Just yeah, I think it's just add even more dimension to it. So anyway, I'm gonna get going. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Let's Fuck with Astrology. I'm at Saturn Season Astrology on Instagram. Natalie is at Apaterno Astrology on Instagram. If you want to like or subscribe or whatever the fuck people do with videos on YouTube, you can find us by searching for Let's Fuck with Astrology in the YouTube search bar. If you're already watching it, you can like it now. Or subscribe or whatever. If you do the red thing, come join us on the subreddit Let's Fuck with Astrology. And if you're interested in the star cards, go to letsfuckwithastrology.com/star-cards. Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all later.